Paris, chérie, le beau Paris, c'est toujours toi que j'aime.
Hello and welcome to Paris Set Me Free, mini Paris photo tutorials. I'm back after a bit of a break. It's February 2010, or should that be 2010? And here we are, believe it or not, in Paris. Now you know my neck of the woods, so I'm going to try and get away from my neck of the woods sometime soon, but for the moment I'm down here in the south. You see there, I'm clicking on a little bit of green. Here it is, now we've got the name. And it's good old Parc Montsouris. Come on, in we go. There we go, you see. One of the, I think, most loveliest parks in Paris. And as we zoom in, you can see that blue blob there. That's where we're going. I'm just going to swap over to the satellite view. And that blue blob has now become decidedly green. Okay, there it is. This is the park I run around quite often. And as you can see, this is actually a lake and this is an island, and we've got little ducks and stuff like that. This is one of the paths I walk around. Run around. Freudian slip. And if you look very, very closely at this path, somewhere you might just be able to see these ladies here. Now, I was on a little walk, as it was. I don't go running with my camera, and there they were. Three lovely nuns, I think you call them. Maybe their particular flavour has got a different name, but I think I would call them nuns. I think in France they call them bonnes sœurs, good sisters. And sure enough, they do look rather somewhat sisterly, don't they? From a photographic point of view, what struck me about this, well, I don't know if you can imagine. Got it yet? Alright, well, there were three of them and they were dressed the same. And if you know anything about me, you'll know that I love repetition. And so I snapped them. There were more than these snaps. I'll show the ones I've got. I've got three. This one, and this one. Now, I don't know if you can imagine which one I went for. You probably can, because you've probably seen the picture already. But, well, I like repetition, and I also like, well, what is repeating here? Well, there's the buildings in the background, but that's not it, is it? It's the ladies with their little stubby legs in their surgical stockings and their their little black shoes, all the same. Sorry about that chargement thing. It seems to have charged now. And their little blue dresses as well. Now, in terms of repetition, if this is going to be worth anything, that's not, looking at that photograph as it is, that's not quite enough, is it? Even though they have got their six little legs hanging out from the bottom of their blue tunics there, that isn't really the subject of the photo, is it? And also, if you look up top, one's got the head covering thing on, the other one maybe has, but it's hidden by this hood, and this one seems to have a scarf. So there's nothing particularly amazing about the top bit, but I did like the legs. Now, in the next one, I also like the legs, and also the fact that these ones are crossed. I don't know if there's any sort of symbolism there, but it wasn't perfect, and also this one's been chopped off the bottom. Also, I'm looking for interaction with the surrounding area. As it happens, it's that green lake that I showed you. There it is again. So they were just down here somewhere. But it still wasn't doing it for me. This was the other one that I kept, having eliminated some that were even less appealing. And this is one I've gone with. May or may not be the best one, I don't know, but I ended up with this. And I don't know if you can see what I've tried to do, but for me, the top, well, from their waists up, there wasn't anything much to recommend the shot. Oops, hang on, where are we? Let me bring the original one back there. This is a bit of a mishmash. It doesn't really say anything. But look what's happened when I've played around with the bottom of the dresses, and even the coats, those two coats there. Look what's happened. Somehow I've been able to drag out quite a lot of blue. I've gone way over the top, of course, but for aesthetic purposes, folks, that's what I've done, because you needed to do something. I wanted to capture something of these ladies. Something more than just what was in the original photograph. which was as usual a bit dull, not very exciting. I've got the little legs. They're all stepping in the same sort of way. They've all got their right foot in front of the left one. They've all got the tunic, which is at exactly the same level, and there's blue for twice as much going up as there are legs. So there's legs are 1/3. Even if you took this part here as a photograph, it would almost be quite good. You've got 1/3 of the ladies are little legs, little stubby legs, and the next 2/3 are blue. So that's almost valid in its own right. Having said that, they're walking in the park, so let's get a bit of atmosphere. My bit of atmosphere happens to be the fact that they're going past not only a bench, which they have eschewed, but they're also going past someone else who has, the way it's turned out after the processing tricks I've done, the jeans are actually the same colour. So they've got their little uniforms and he's got his little jeans, and they're the same, which is quite nice, the same sort of bluey denim-y. Although of course the nuns aren't in trendy denim outfits, they're probably in I don't know what, cotton or something. Okay. Another interesting aspect of this is the bin. Now I honestly can't say that has any particularly wonderful, deep and meaningful or even ironic message. Triant pour recycler means I don't know what it is in English. Basically divide the stuff you're throwing away into metal and plastic and stuff before you do throw it away, and that's the yellow bin here, to recycle. So separate to recycle. So I honestly can't drag any wonderful message out of that, but it's kind of funny to see these people from supposedly another worldly state going past good old recycling bins, and your common Joe and Janet sitting in the park watching them go by, which is kind of nice. You know, everyone of all sorts of life can enjoy the local park, which is why it's one of my favourite scouting areas. Well, either one of my favourite areas for trogging through as I'm running, or for sitting quietly on a bench watching the world and all in all its different guises go by. And every now and then there's a photo opportunity that falls out of it. Any other things I've done here? Well, I've tried to put them up top right, and I've tried to have this curve somewhat pleasingly filling in the bottom left corner. It could be said that this is a bit messy, but it's a park, you know, that's what it's about. And also what happened in the processing, as I played around with colours and saturation levels and contrasts, is that the bottom of this has actually blown out, which is possibly the technical term for going completely white. And to be honest, I quite like that idea. The sort of spiritual aspect of white, and the fact that where they've been seems to have been painted a somewhat holy, purified blank whiteness, almost as though they're walking. As they walk, they create the clouds of heaven, and if you look in front of them, it's all kind of grubby and dirty, and yet where they've been, and this isn't a trick in that I went over it rubbing it out, it does seem that they've actually cleansed the path, you know, whatever you feel about religion, and possibly from a photojournalist's point of view, you should have a reasonably open point of view. But nevertheless, there's always a touch of humour there, or even a touch of gentle irony, or perhaps I wouldn't like to say mocking at all. But having said that, as photographers, we should let the photograph do the talking. So try and give your viewers as many opportunities as possible to draw their own conclusions about what it means. To be honest, I do like this sort of idea that where they've walked has become cleansed, and the path in front of them is about to be. I find that a rather pleasing aspect of this little photograph, and I've chosen a rather more panoramic cropping, because I kind of felt that was a nice way to do it as well. So thanks for visiting, and I'm on a roll, so there'll be plenty more videos coming up soon. See you soon on Paris Set Me Free.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.